Thursday edition of our Powering Your Future segment that is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. And today we're talking all things relating to the Petroleum Training and Education Fund, known as PetroFund, okay? Like I made mention earlier, it is a statutory body of the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, established in 1992. Yeah, I said 93 earlier, but it's 1992. Let's just... I know how you feel about your age. It's also important that we take this one to that level as well. Okay, so they have quite a number of things when it comes to their mandate, and building capacity through training is one of them. We, of course, have somebody who will break it all down for us, so don't worry, okay, when it comes to their mandate. And the person in studio is Mr. Shoki Kandjimi, who is the fund spokesperson. Good morning.
Good morning, Shante, and good morning to your listeners.
How are you doing today?
I'm feeling quite great to be in your studio.
Why are you thinking about it?
No. I was just appreciating the space.
Okay. No, I'm wondering if it is something that started with the morning, and because sometimes the mornings are a little rough, and then you get to a certain part of the day, and you're like, it's actually feeling better.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
It's actually better to be here.
No.
Yeah.
Well, if you're just joining us, as I made mention, this is Powering Your Future. Segment proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Now, we have, that is the PetroFund spokesperson, like I made mention. Now, just a quick one. I know that my listener may have heard about PetroFund, but they might also just know the name and not quite everything in between. So maybe let's start off with you giving a brief background of PetroFund. And earlier, I mentioned that one of your mandates are building capacity through training, but what are, the fund's mandate?
No, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's always good to be here to share our mandate with your listeners and followers. Of course, PetroFund is the Petroleum Training and Education Fund, better known as PetroFund. So we were established, as you rightly put it, in 1992, of course, to build capacity in the oil and gas industry. Yeah. We are there to train. We are there to provide things like scholarship, which we are better known for. Yeah. And also institutional development, within the oil and gas industry. Of course, our government was very visionary, after independence immediately. They decided to establish this body, with a vision of saying that one day Namibia will discover oil and gas. And look at us today.
One day is
here.
Love it, absolutely.
Yeah. And basically this is in line with the Petroleum Exploration and Production Act of 1991. That's where the whole idea came from. Yeah. And today we have really funded quite a lot of people who have benefited from this initiative by government. Yeah. And especially to an industry that is so new to us. Yeah. When you look at other countries, there's always complaints of where's the local content? Where are the locals? Why are they not participating? Are they capacitated? Yeah. So we serve that function to fill that gap. Okay. So look, we have Namibians that have been trained in different spaces to complement the oil and gas industry.
Good stuff. Yeah. I mean, you spoke of what the fund is known for, and that is, the scholarship and such. I want to tap into that quickly. How does one qualify to be a beneficiary of the PetroFund?
So, thank you so much. It happens that I got this call at the right time.
Perfect. We love it.
Perfect time.
Yeah.
Because today we go live.
Okay.
We officially open our 2026 scholarship program.
Nice.
It is our flagship program from PetroFund.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, for you to qualify or participate in this application process, you just need to be a Namibian, number one. Yeah. At the end of the day, I think one thing I also missed to indicate at the beginning was, PetroFund is not funded by government. It is a government body, but it's not funded by government. Yeah. It is funded by every petroleum license holder who has an agreement with government.
Nice.
They have to, contribute to the fund every year. Okay. A certain amount, of course, that is, dedicated to skills development, training and all that. Yeah. So that's how we operate. Okay. So due to this great US dollars, some will call it, we are able to do our work.
Nice.
And basically going back to the question, So you need to be a Namibian citizen because this money is meant for Namibians.
Yeah.
Namibians need to benefit. We need to build a local content in our country from an oil and gas perspective.
Yeah.
Secondly, of course, we do have different scholarships that we offer.
Okay.
When you look at the undergraduate, of course, what we always urge or what we require from our candidates is that they need to have excellent results.
Yeah.
When it comes to your grade 12 or AS level today,
true.
The curriculums have changed.
Yeah.
Of course, you need to be having subjects such as English, your science subjects, and mathematics with at least 30 points in 5 subjects.
Okay.
So in sometimes you would find that when you're on AS, you have maybe only 3 subjects.
Okay.
So to make 5, you need to take it from your ordinary curriculum, which is in grade 11. You put them together, and it should tally 30 points and above.
Okay.
That's how you qualify from an undergraduate level.
Okay.
When you come to postgraduate, we do have what we call percentages because we don't have points anymore.
Truth.
So, of course, if you want to pursue a postgraduate qualification, we require you to have an honors degree in the relevant field.
Okay.
And, of course, you need to have a average percentage of 60%, in all those subjects so that you qualify.
Yeah.
So, in terms of our undergraduate, we do fund only in SADC, related universities.
Okay.
And postgraduate, we open it up, local or international.
Nice.
Yes, so it's a fully funded scholarship, open to all Namibians who want to or who have an interest in getting into the oil and gas industry. And we are there to support them all the way. What we only require of them at the end of the day is not as some of the other scholarships, bursaries, and all that. You don't need to pay back.
Okay.
That's the exciting
I think
part.
somebody was waiting for that part.
I know. Everyone always have that question. Say, am I going to pay back all that? But no. Okay. All we require of you is to come back in the country, work in the country.
Okay.
For the number of years that we have funded you, just come back and work in the country and play your role in growing the oil and gas industry in our country. Because at the end of the day, we want to build the local capacity of our country.
Okay. I mean, you touched on the opportunities in that regard, but I think let's just quickly rewind a little bit, but also just add to it. What scholarships and training opportunities are available?
Indeed. Very good point. Of course, when we look at undergraduate, we are focusing on your foundational programs.
Okay.
And we really emphasize on this. It's very important to do your foundational programs before you go to specialization.
Okay.
Specialization is more of when you reach your postgraduate level.
Yeah.
Because, when the sector, the oil and gas is always up and down. Sometimes it will be down. It's like having the high tides, your low tide. Yeah. Similar. So at least if you have your foundational program, you can still also venture into other sectors.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we don't want to be having Namibians that are unemployed.
True.
Unemployment is already a national crisis. So, of course, when you look at your undergraduate, we look into the different disciplines of engineering, mechanical, power, chemical, industrial, power engineering, chemical engineering. Those are our focus. And we also look into geosciences, better known as geology, for some who might not know. So we have also introduced one. Of course, it's a specialty that is actually required at the moment.
All right.
So it's a specialty in instrumentation technology. Yeah. So it's offered by a Canadian institute, which we are willing to fund the Namibian student who has an interest to go to Canada for 2 years and come back and work in the industry.
Okay.
Postgraduate, we have opened it up for different spaces of specialization. Yeah. Of course, engineering, tops it up. But of course, one thing I have perhaps forgot to mention is that also petroleum geosciences on a postgraduate level, we only fund in at the University of Namibia. Okay. Because the program is already offered here. We don't want to get the money out of the country. We in the future, we want to see all these programs offered in our country so that the money remains in the country. Nice. But of course, for now, it will take a while before we get to that point. Okay. But of course, when you look at the other postgraduate programs that we fund, of course, you look at the different specializations in engineering, drilling engineering. There are quite a lot. Maybe I can look into my paper. There are like exploration geophysicist.
Okay.
We are looking at reservoir evaluation and management.
Nice.
We are looking at aerospace engineering. We are looking at oil and gas law.
Okay.
So there are quite a lot. But of course, you can go onto the PetroFund website.
Yeah.
We've listed all of them, and we have even indicated to you which universities we are recommending to you.
Nice.
Because, it's very important that we really take you to tested and tried universities. Because the oil and gas sector is quite very, very, very sensitive. You don't just go to any institution.
True.
Because you don't want to compromise on one of the biggest issue, which is safety. The minute you just do something small on a rig, for instance, you're going to kill a lot of people.
True.
So you need to have the good quality of education. So that's why we recommend that to our people. So the website is, of course, there, www.petrofund.org. Please visit our website, familiarize yourself with the programs, the benefits and all that. Okay. We are there for you.
All right. Well, in case you're joining in, that is Mr. Shoki Kandjimi, who is the fund spokesperson. We're talking PetroFund in this case, breaking down quite a number of things, of course, their mandate, and really you hearing about them and not quite knowing. He got to outline that, right? We also touched on the opportunities you've been hearing about, and you were wondering if you qualify, and he was kind enough to break that down. The conversation doesn't end here. We're going to be looking at some of the key activities that the fund is currently undertaking. We also will be looking at, the fund's response to recent developments in Namibia's petroleum sector. That I'm very sure you're also very keen on hearing, and a whole lot more, of course. But first, you hang in there, because Fly Namibia has this for you.
Namibia is at the forefront of a clean energy revolution, harnessing the power of green hydrogen to industrialize and create jobs for Namibians. Green hydrogen is produced using our abundant renewable energy, wind and solar. Namibia's natural resources are our great competitive advantage. Green hydrogen emits zero greenhouse gases when used to power industries, trucks, ships and trains. It's the key to a carbon-free future here in Namibia and around the world. The Ministry of Mines and Energy is committed to developing this new green hydrogen sector, creating a sustainable tomorrow for Namibia, harnessing our resources, powering our future.
We are conversing around the works done by the Petroleum Training and Education Fund, otherwise known as PetroFund. And in studio with us is Mr. Shoki Kandjimi, who is the fund spokesperson. Nicely broke it down for us in terms of some of that, also including the mandate. We also got in on you being very curious about this funding. Do I have to pay back? Okay, and you got to break that down. But right now, I want us to get into the key activities at the fund currently. Talk to us about that.
So the fund is quite growing. Of course, now that we have discoveries, I think the oil and gas industry is super busy.
Yeah.
I think we just ended off with the Namibia Oil and Gas Summit last week. And you can just see how there's an influx of different stakeholders coming to Namibia, because of the friendly environment that we have.
True.
You go to other countries, you don't find this. I mean, some of them came to this country set up without any contract yet.
Hectic.
But just because of the environment and how we are so friendly and approachable. Yeah. So we have been very busy. Of course, we are busy with different MOUs just to ensure that we deploy our graduates for training. It's very important. Yeah. You get to school, you learn what you need to learn, but school doesn't give you everything at the end of the day.
No, that's true.
So you need to go into the different sites, different bases, start doing the work, the actual work. So that's where the internship comes in. That's where the on-the-job training is. So that's what we do. Okay. Other activities that we do, of course, is capacitating regulators. Yeah. This is a new industry for us, so we need to also capacitate your government offices, ministries, and agencies. So we need to make them understand what the sector is, how it operates, how they can regulate it. Nice. Sorry. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you don't want these companies to just give you a suite. We want the factory because it's our resources. So you need to ensure that our people are really well ready to regulate it. So we have different trainings that we do for them. One on safety, which is quite important for us. Safety is quite important actually for the industry itself. So we are also taking them on different excursions on rigs, for instance. So they just appreciate what happens. I mean, you see all these equipments coming into the country, all these rigs coming to your sea area. but do you understand or know about this?
Yeah.
So that's where we come in and fill in that gap and says, PetroFund, since we are all about capacity development, we are there to ensure that you really are aware of this. So that's one of our, I would say, it's also another flagship program that we really have at PetroFund. And also going to, coordinating different stuff within the institutions of higher learning. As these companies and as the momentum grows, everyone wants to offer this different oil and gas course.
True.
So we need to coordinate that. I think as a country, we need to coordinate ourselves so that even when stakeholders are willing to come and invest, we have a coordinated body. So we have also convened a task force responsible for really tertiary institutions in terms of not duplicating programs. If UNAM is responsible for geology, why should the rest do the same? Let's allow UNAM, let's capacitate UNAM so that they do that. And then the other universities can take up programs like engineering and all that is needed within the industry. That is also really a big highlight for us. But of course, the scholarship still stands out, is one of our main activities. Of course, we're in the process of also planning to rebrand PetroFund. I think that's the most exciting part for me as a communicator. Really a big achievement for me personally as well. Knowing that we are rebranding, bringing a new facelift for the organization.
Definitely having our eyes on that one for sure. Also, let's get into how PetroFund is responding to recent developments in the petroleum sector.
So, of course, what we do, Shante, every year, even before we start coming up with a list of scholarships and all that, we say, look, let's sit with the industry. Let's hear where are the gaps. What are the needs?
I love that.
Because at the end of the day, you can't just wake up and say, okay, we are oil and gas, we will start funding these programs. No, you need to do a comprehensive consultation with the industry, the service companies, the operators to see where the gaps are. Then from that consultation, you develop the relevant programs that are needed so that once these graduates complete their studies, once they come back to the country or are ready to be deployed in the different companies, there is space. There is space because there was that need that was already envisioned 2-3 years ago. So that is what we do to ensure that really we come up with these unique programs and then we deploy students for them.
Good stuff. That's Mr. Shoki Kandjimi, who is the fund spokesperson. Tell you what, it is time for your news. A little late, but hey, it's always accurate.
Namibia's mining sector is the backbone of our economy, driving development and creating opportunities across the nation. The Department of Mines ensures the responsible and optimal utilization of our rich mineral resources, integrating mining with other sectors for a sustainable future. From securing mineral rights to ensuring mine safety and environmental responsibility, we support every scale of mining operation while promoting socio-economic growth. Harnessing our resources, powering our future.
I am your host, Shante, and alongside me, Mr. Shoki Kandjimi, who is PetroFund's spokesperson, breaking down, that is, their mandate really in terms of building capacity through training, institutional development, scholarships and promotions of science, engineering and technology, and really the fund's positioning in terms of the recent development in Namibia's petroleum sector. We touched on all of that, but we're getting into a whole lot more. If you're joining in, this is the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy segment that highlights powering your future, and we're back with it as per usual. Now, Shoki, you were talking to us about, the positioning in terms of PetroFund in Namibia's, recent petroleum developments. I want us to also go into then a little bit of a reverse. We spoke about, the training there, the scholarships, and how many people have benefited from the fund so far, and what benefits have past recipients then, sort of reported?
No, it's a good question. When you look at the current status, of course, from 1992 to 2025, we're proud to say we have funded 432 Namibians, spending over 115 million Namibian dollars on these graduates. Of course, there are a lot in the industry that have done quite good for themselves, especially when you look at the industry itself, the oil and gas industry. The acting managing director of NAMCO, for instance, is a PetroFund beneficiary.
Nice.
Many of their executives are PetroFund beneficiaries.
Nice.
You look at the Petroleum Commissioner, Mrs. Maggie Shino, deals with licensing and all that,
Nice.
She's a PetroFund beneficiary. Of course, the Upstream Petroleum unit in the Office of the President that was recently established. Of course, the deputy is also a PetroFund beneficiary.
Love it.
So you can see at the leadership level already we have a lot. But also you'll find your CEO of NAMRA, Mr. Shimi. Yeah, if I got his name quite right. He's also a PetroFund beneficiary. You look at other people like Dr. Eno Mvula at Namibia Standard Institute, PetroFund beneficiary. A lot of lawyers like Shakwa Nyambes who have created their own firms and specializing in oil and gas are coming from PetroFund. And some of their attorneys also PetroFund beneficiaries.
Nice.
So you can see a lot of them are really doing good for themselves. We have a lot of them at the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, a lot of them at NAMCO, a lot of them in banking institutions. Because remember at the time, when it started, we started off first with finances and law-related scholarships and some in geology and engineering.
Okay.
So some of these, and many of them today are also country managers or deputy country managers at some of the oil companies that are in the country. We speak of Rhino Resources, one of the companies that discovered oil in the country. We speak of Asana Gold in Namibia. Franz Kalenga is there. Country manager, PetroFund beneficiary.
Nice.
You speak of BW Kudu company. Of course, we have Mr. Munjwa there also a general manager, which is the second in charge. So you can already see we are taking over the industry as PetroFund beneficiary. And that's one thing that makes us very, very proud. And of these 430, 270 of them have specialized in oil and gas. So they are able to go offshore, onshore, because remember, we are not only exploring offshore, but also inland. Of course, of the Rican Africa exploration activities in the Kavango region. The two Kavango regions. I must correct that, otherwise I'll be dealt with. So there's quite a lot of people that we've really deployed across the sector of the oil and gas, where really we can see that we have really created an impact on the sector itself.
All right. I mean, he's beaming with pride. I can gladly tell you that. I know you could be wondering, and I think it's really one of those moments where it truly feels like, a parent who's invested pretty well in their children, and you're seeing the results. And so, if you had a question of any thought in that direction, you can see the picture in this regard. I want us to also go into the on-job training program. Tell us a little bit about that one.
So, Shante, what we have done as PetroFund is that we have really signed strategic partnerships with what we call your operators. These are your Shells, your Total Energies, Rhino Resources, etc. And we also have what we call service companies, which are your Halliburtons, Baker Hughes, Technip FMC. They're quite a lot. And they're in the country. That's a good part. So what we have done with these strategic partnerships is to say, look, when our graduates return from their studies, the next step is to train them. Of course, like I said earlier, university is good, but doesn't give you everything. So you need to go on the job to learn the skills that you need to specialize in different areas where your passion lies. So this is where we deploy students to really get internships and they are trained they are trained so that they're able to do their work very well and in most cases some of these companies say, look, we've trained this person, why should we let them go? So some of them have been employed permanently. That's the exciting part of it. It also draws me closer to our CV database. Sometimes you don't need to come through the scholarship, as long as you have studied oil and gas related program and that is needed. We have a manual, currently it's manual, where you just send us your CV and your qualifications, we put it on the database. So what happens with these strategic partnerships that we have also assigned is sometimes they come and say, no, we need this skill set. Do you have it on your database? And we say, yes, we have this. We send them all the documents. They shortlist and they even go as far as training them and even recruiting them. As we speak, some of them have been taken to countries like France, our nearby neighbor here, Angola, Nigeria, and Ghana. Some have gone to as far as the US and all that.
Okay.
And it's just on training. Remember, this is training. And when they came back, I must speak of Technip FMC. It's now they have an office in Windhoek.
Yeah.
They have already recruited 16 of these candidates. Not just training, but they are recruited.
Yeah.
This is how we are also contributing to changing the whole thing of unemployment in the country. It's through these strategic partnerships that we have. So that's the exciting part of it. So really, we have trained people because this is a specialized area. They need certifications, before you go offshore. Yeah. You can't just jump on a boat or or just get into a helicopter and say you're going to work on a rig or an FPSO, for instance. Yeah. There are certifications that are required, like POSIET, your medicals and all that, because you need to be fit and all that to go on those rigs and so. So they even go as far as paying for this. So what we have done recently, one of our achievements before we conclude is we have sent students for a specialized course called the Remote Operated Vehicle Pilot Technician. So we identified 3 candidates. We deployed them to Malaysia. So this is a program because, the nature of our sea is quite different when you look at other countries. Our sea is quite very deep. The deepest, actually, they say, in the oil and gas industry globally. Okay. So, there are areas where human divers cannot go to. So you need some sort of a technology that goes down there. So it needs to be operated by someone. So we have deployed 3 candidates that are going to do just that. Nice. They're going to be deployed across the world for training, and they've already secured employment, by the way. Okay. Even before they completed their program. Nice. That's the exciting part. It's all because of these strategic partnerships that we have, like with Subsea 7. So a service company that has an office in Windhoek. Okay. And really, we are so proud. As we speak, they have completed that program. Yeah. They are now doing their certifications in Singapore. Okay. We expect them to arrive in Saturday. Nice. And just to come say hi to the family we completed. Then off you go. Again. You're deployed in different areas where the company is operated. And by the time we have our oil and gas in place in terms of production and development, they come back and work in the country. Nice.
This is a fund that truly speaks to its mandate, building capacity. This is done through training. We're speaking, we just got off the training specifically as that on-job training program there. Institutional development, of course, saying, listen, if one thing is being done by one institution, perhaps look at something else, instead of duplicating that. These scholarships that you've keenly been asking for, he, of course, got to highlight that they're officially going live today. And you can actually, talking about that, before we wrap up, how can we follow some of your works? I'm pretty sure, there could be an inquiry of some sort. Because of time and everything in between, somebody might have gotten to their radio and they're like, wait, so there's a scholarship? How do I actually apply? I missed out on that, and whatever else might come with that. How does the individual who's then keen on any of that information go about it?
Yeah. So, of course, we are also planning campaigns to educate because, of course, the scholarships open today and they will run until the 7th of October. Okay. So you have run about 2 to 3 months to prepare all your documents, get everything in order. Yeah. By the time you send us that pitch or that application, we should be able to say, we confidently say, yes, we're taking you. Yeah. So we're giving you ample time to really make sure all your documents are in order. Your motivation is together, not ChatGPT'd. But one that is really genuine. At the end of the day, want to hear your story. Okay. Want to hear why should we choose Shante? What makes you special? Why do you want to enter into the oil and gas industry? There are many industries in the country. Green hydrogen, you name them. Why is oil and gas unique? Okay. You need to tell us. So, of course, you can follow us on our different platforms. We are very active on our WhatsApp channel. Okay. We do have Facebook, Twitter now, X. We're still coming to terms with that. Yeah. Of course, then you have Instagram. LinkedIn is quite one of our popular one. I think it's because that's where the professionals are. Yeah. Those are our platforms, of course. But also what we have done when you go into the website is we have also created a document just to assist you in terms of how to navigate, in terms of applying. Because you need to create an account, and you put in all your details, how you upload all your documents, just to make it to make that navigation smooth for the candidate. Also, what we have done, Shante, this year is we have also created a manual application, right? I know we want to keep it digital, but there are areas with no internet. There are areas with limited internet. So we said, look, we will distribute a manual application form in all 121 constituencies of our country, all 14 regional councils of our country, so that those who do not have these facilities to their disposal, you can go there, grab your application form, do the normal manual application, give it to your constituency office. They will courier it to us in Windhoek, and we'll process it.
Nice.
The late president always used to say, no one must feel left out.
True.
So we don't want that to happen, because now we need more people trained in the industry. Because as we await what we call the final investment decision. So when an operator makes that decision, it's a game changer for our country and the industry. That means we're able to produce oil and gas in Namibia. That means we'll need more Namibians.
And we'll be ready for that.
And we'll be ready for it. Do you understand? So also, I think one question that many people ask is, you just focus on technical, skills. Because at the end of the day, when you're on a rig, you have a chef who's cooking for you. You have a cleaner who's cleaning your space. How do we also empower these things? So we are also looking at projects of how we can also empower them. Also, your entrepreneurs, supply chain management sector area. We're also looking at how we can coordinate that. Of course, we signed a new agreement. I don't know if you followed, with RMB, or First Rand Namibia. Very strategic one being the first local company to invest into the fund. That's a historical one for us. And we will want to really capacitate this area that is not so fully empowered for the oil and gas industry. Because the oil and gas industry has specific needs, specific requirements. It's not your normal tender where you just go tender
and then that's
you get the tender. It's specific. You need to meet certain requirements. So we need to empower our businesses so that they are well prepared. So that is also coming in the future. We'll be announcing a lot of stuff are coming. They're just busy.
By the way, that also includes the rebrand. Anyway, Mr. Shoki Kandjimi, thank you so much for joining us today. We're looking forward to all of it and more. Definitely going to keep our eyes, that is, on the socials. And the PetroFund is doing an incredible job.
Thank you so much.
When we speak of goals and we speak of objectives, I think PetroFund has proven to take that very seriously. We see it in the work you do, but also the results that is produced with that. So kudos to the PetroFund. And pretty much everybody else who's taking these opportunities that are presented to them. I need to say goodbye to you. I know that you need to get back to the office, so let me not keep you here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it. It is a wrap, and we got to speak in on the Petroleum Training and Education Fund, a statutory body of the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. And we had, of course, the spokesperson, Shoki Kandjimi, who then got to break down a little bit of their mandate and the in-betweens. That opportunity you've been looking for in terms of your eyes being on the oil and gas industry is here. The applications have officially kicked off.